I came to ArtsBridge, I was really nervous and it was really intimidating.
I felt really scared about the audition process at the beginning of the 2 weeks.
ArtsBridge is different because it's college faculty who are teaching students the craft of auditioning, which is paramount because no one gets into a program, no one gets a job on Broadway without an audition, and it's a craft unto itself.
Now, in the names of all the gods at once, upon what meet doth this our season...
ArtsBridge staff brings together literally the leading programs in musical theater.
We can look at it technically without making a judgment.
It's 2 weeks of very diverse faculty of the highest caliber.
Because the stakes, going back to something...
They're getting the best in the field. That's plain and simple.
I think what's unique about ArtsBridge is that students have access to all of these different programs at one time. You don't really get that at a lot of other places.
Do you know what it is? You've memorized pauses.
Now, can you give yourself an external target?
Keep the breath moving steadily.
Definitely knowing the teachers has helped me realize where I want to go and what I want to be doing with theater.
And I've made huge changes to my college list and really figured out what I want and figured out what these programs are. It's just really, really inspiring, and it makes me want to go home and work even harder.
Musical Theater 2 is for rising sophomore and junior students in high school, really right at the cusp of figuring out that this is what they want to do with their life and what they might want to study in college and beyond.
ArtsBridge is an intensive program. Intensive isn't in the title, but it is definitely intensive.
Our schedules are 12 hours long.
Essentially, they're getting up, they're having breakfast, and by 8:15 they're in their first class. 3 rotations of classes, and then there's either a voice lesson or a master class. They go to dinner, and then they have another master class or an open mic night or some sort of assessment. So it's pretty intense. I mean, they're really living the life of a college student working in a conservatory.
It's really demanding physically and mentally.
It's a lot of hard work, and I think it's been the greatest blessing.
I feel like a completely different artist than I was before.
When we have students walk in the room and they're so terrified, they're so anxious, it doesn't go so well. And when students walk in the room and they're smiling and they greet you, it just changes everything.
They took me to a tiny boat. I only just fit inside. I looked at
We want to see you. We aren't casting roles. We're not casting a show. We're not looking for one specific type. We're looking for a student that we want to nurture for the next 4 years and perhaps the rest of their career and their life.
Remember this semiconsonant that we had in nuit. Fui, fui.
A lot of times they assume that programs are very similar to each other. So learning that there are different approaches to training, different ways to look at the issue, I think really helps them in their decision-making process.
If you stay in this place, that's going to help that back vowel shape. Remember,
what's beautiful is by the end of the 2 weeks, the students not only have a better sense of each school and each program, but also they have a better sense of themselves and how they might align with a particular program.
We're demanding from them just what I would demand from artists in college, and frankly, just what I would demand from artists at any level of their careers.
So at no point do we want to think, oh, these are high school students. We think these are young artists. How far can I take you from where you are to where you can go today?
When we approach a character, we automatically think that they're internal and they're external.
It gives you a good idea of what your life would be like if you go to a conservatory program, for sure.
Before I would get all jittery and nervous. Going into the audition process, I'm way more relaxed and I'm okay with being myself.
Good, cool. I want you to lean into the sustained pitches just a little.
You can go to an audition and then you never know how it goes. I mean, it's so hard, but they tell you and then you get to work on it for 2 weeks and you really get to implement it.
Good. Even more this time. Yeah!
Look out, boys, I'm coming through and I'm on.
In 10 days, I've developed so much confidence to just be able to walk into a room and just present myself.
I've crossed a river and I'm almost there. I'm almost there.
And just be like, yeah, this is who I am.